Welcome to Talk Across America. I'm Doug Miles, and we're here in beautiful Sarasota, Florida. Joining us now on our Book Talk segment, great to welcome a woman who's put together a very interesting book. If you're into wine, even if you're not, you're going to learn a lot about it, and I'm one of those people. It's called Wine Folly, the Master Guide, and we're joined this is actually the Magnum edition. We're joined today by sommelier and expert in wines, Madeline Puckette on the telephone today. And Madeline, good to talk with you. How are you?
I'm great. I'm super.
Yeah, good to have a chance to talk with you. Now, I got to say, I don't know a lot about wines. Not that I have anything against it. I just don't know much about it. Maybe red or white or Cabernet, I might, some of those terms, but boy, there's a lot to learn, isn't there?
There is, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people don't get into it, is because, boy, does it seem like a big, deep hole, and it's hard to find just even a bottle you might want to grab and take home, which is one of the reasons we created Wine Folly, the website, and this new book.
I was going to say, you have the website Wine Folly, and of course the previous book, Wine Folly, The Essential Guide to Wine, was such a great success. But I guess people, like you say, are a little bit intimidated because you want to have the right wine for the, whatever dinner you're serving, or if you're out, you want to have the right type. So there's a little bit of a learning, but you don't have to be an expert to enjoy wine, right?
No, not at all. The biggest thing to learn about wine is actually more about yourself. More about how you taste and your own taste profile and your own preferences with wine. And in order to do that, you ought to learn how to actively taste wine. So before you swallow, before you drink the wine even, is to just pay attention to the smells and the aromas. And a little bit of mindfulness in this department goes a long, long way. And to be perfectly honest, I taught myself about wine. I didn't have a book, the Wine Folly book at the time, to teach me. So I created my own system of learning. And this is how I learned about wine and how I became a sommelier.
I was going to ask you, you mentioned, you see wine tasting events. We have a lot even in our area down here in Sarasota. What do you actually, obviously taste, if you like it or not, but there's more to it than just the taste, right? You said the smell, and you always hear the term, aroma or bouquet. What are those? What are you looking for when you do that?
Well, if you're just getting started, I would say the most important thing is to start disassociating this wine in your glass. And so it's helpful to close your eyes and to just smell the wine and to try to identify different flavors, maybe 3 to 5 in a glass. In a great glass of wine, you won't be able to stop identifying flavors. Mm-hmm. In a not so great glass of wine, it'll just smell wine-like to you. But if you start getting, you'll know it's a decent wine. It doesn't matter how much it costs. But you'll just start to name aromas. You'll close your eyes. You'll be, I smell lemons. I smell toasted almonds. I smell yellow apples. And when you start tasting those things, you allow your brain to catch up with the wine before you taste it. And then when you taste it, it's really interesting. We always think we're tasting flavors, but we're not. We're tasting the texture of the wine. We're tasting how it hits your palate from the moment you taste it till after you swallow. So when you taste the wine, it's more about that tingling feeling on your texture, or the stringency, or the bitterness. Love the bitterness, man. Get into it. And that will help you learn more about wine, just doing that movement every single time you try something new, than even reading my book. So just do that.
Yeah, it's a good tip, because you see people that know a lot about wine. They can take a sip and almost tell you the vintage, right? I mean, once you develop that ability.
You can get that good. It's possible.
Let's talk a little bit about, we all associate, of course, champagne, with which is a specific type of wine, right, from over in France. But there's so many places that are known to, develop great wines, particularly in Europe, but even the U.S., right? I was a little surprised. I know we all know about Napa Valley and all that, but other states in the U.S., I guess Washington is one of them, right? There's several in the country that develop good wine, right?
Yes. I've been surprised by New York State, by New Jersey. Oregon makes some world-class wine. So we're going to see some more great regions pop out of America in the coming years. And it's really the great challenge to American wine regions beyond the West Coast, where we have sort of the ocean to moderate the temperature, is we have very, very cold winters. And grapes, traditional wine grapes are actually an arid climate. They're a warm climate species. And so a lot of times they don't survive the winter. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, there are new grape varieties being developed in places like Minnesota that can survive these cold winters, and they have unique names you've never heard of, like Petite Pearl, that show promise in all of American states. And I'm very excited to see what they do. Even down in Florida, you can find these very rare grape variety. It's very common down there, but they're rare everywhere else in the world, called muscadine. And I haven't tasted a good wine yet, but I have my fingers crossed. So I'll figure it out.
I was going to ask, you associate wine and having to grow in like a cooler type of, spring and summer and fall, not hot. So you can grow it in Florida, right? If you have a specific type of grape.
Well, the problem with super hot climates and wet climates, moist climates, is rot. So we're literally growing plants here. If you grow great grapes, you're going to make great wine. Yeah. So if you have great growing crops, you're going to produce great wine. So in tropical areas, it's always been a great challenge. But yeah, muscadine is a grape variety that grows in Georgia and in Florida and in South Carolina that has shown promise. It's crazy. It grows like a weed. It grows really, really fast. And it creates these grapes with exceptionally high antioxidants, higher than all other grape varieties in the world, in pretty much all other wine grape varieties. So it has potential, but I haven't tasted a good wine yet. But I've heard some other experts in Georgia being like, keep trying, keep looking. So I'm on the hunt.
Well, you just mentioned the term antioxidant, and I've always heard, and I think a lot of doctors say, obviously in moderation, but a glass of wine a couple times a week is actually beneficial to your health, right? Good for your heart and good for your circulation.
Well, it can be, and there's some shocking studies that point this out. Actually done with real humans with real cardiovascular issues. They'll be drinking wine for a month and discover that their LDL cholesterol levels have the bad cholesterol's been reduced and the good cholesterol's been increased, and they have better circulation. So it's surprising. Of course, the alcohol side of wine is maybe the more questionable area of interest. There are studies in both sides of the table that say alcohol is bad and alcohol is good. But what most people agree is that if you have a moderation in your diet, so you can drink wine every day, but you got to drink. If you're a man, you can drink maybe 2 glasses, and if you're a woman, you should drink no more than 1 glass a night, and that would be a moderate drinking diet. Of course, if you ask me, it's no fair. I wish I could drink 2, but we have less alcohol digesting enzymes in our body than men do naturally in our DNA. So. That's one of the reasons why men can drink more than women.
I thought it was more of a body size, but it has to do with enzymes. I didn't know that. Okay, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's truly it's a body. Yeah, it's weird. The more you know, I'll tell you.
That's it. Well, again, anything in moderation. Just make sure you don't overdo it. But really, this book is fascinating. And again, for anybody like myself that may have limited knowledge, I think you're going to learn a lot, obviously. But if you are already into the hobby of tasting wine, it's going to give you a lot of great information too. Called the Wine Folly Magnum Edition, the Master Guide. And we've been talking with Madeline Puckette today. And Madeline, give out again the website. People get more information about the book. I believe it comes out about next week as we talk today, right? Early October.
It just came out yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. Okay, I had the wrong date there. Great. Okay. Yeah, give out your website.
Yeah. So it's winefolly.com, and the book's actually on the front page right now, so you can take a look right from there.
Great, Madeline. Pleasure talking to you. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we can do it again.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on Talk Across America. Please visit our website at dougmilesmedia.com for more great interviews and content. And if you're interested in any of the books we talk about on the program, please click the Amazon link on our website. It helps support the podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again real soon here from beautiful Sarasota, Florida.
I'm Stan Brock. 30 years ago, I formed Remote Area Medical to help people overseas. But then we found generations of families in America isolated by poverty from the health care they need. Together, we can take dental, vision, and medical help to 1 million adults and their kids, right here at home in the United States of America.